Hello, and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager 3 stream. My name is Adam. I'm the manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, is FHM producer Jeff, who is pictured on the top right-hand corner of your screen wearing a wonderful Vancouver Canucks jersey.
1982 Canucks, yep. Actually, I think this is the 80-81 version of it, but all-time classic Canucks jersey.
And we are back with the 1975 LA Kings season, and Jeff, it's been going horribly.
It's gone pretty bad. I mean, we put together a really nice team here. They're just, the average age is getting somewhere into the mid-20s, so these guys are reaching their peak. We should be pushing for, if not a shot at the finals, at least we should be having no trouble getting to the playoffs. Instead, this is... Oops, upside click on the right screen. This is where we are right now, sitting bottom of the Norris Division, bottom of the Wales Conference. The wheels have just completely come off this year. Even the Washington Capitals, this is their first year in the league, historically one of the worst teams of all time. Somehow they've put together a good team. They're 24 points ahead of us. The only teams we're beating are the Canucks, naturally, and the other expansion team, the Kansas City Scouts. Everybody else is way out in front of us. We've only got 14 games left, so there is just no reasonable hope of getting into the playoffs at this point.
And Minnesota. We're beating Minnesota.
Oh, were we ahead of them too? Okay. Didn't notice that. Yeah, so we are just, technically we're tied with them. We've got more wins. But I think so. The first thing to do is try to do a little post-mortem here and just figure out what has gone wrong with this team. I'm going to look through the stats, how we've done this year. Don Marcotte, the captain. And hi to everybody in the chat there. Our captain, I'm just going to look, I'm hovering over them, so we get the pop-up visible so you can see how they compared that last year to this year. Marcotte's having a bit of an off year. Still reasonably productive. Reggie Leach, likewise, points are off there. Terry O'Reilly, first rounder from a couple of years ago, or first or second rounder, can't remember which. He's coming along nicely. Anders Hedberg, who is, I think, tearing up the WHA at this point in real life. He's more or less on track with where he was this year. His goal total's gone up, so that's not too bad. Bob Gainey, another one of our recent first-rounders, turning out pretty great. I mean, he was injured for a long part of his rookie year, and he's having a pretty good sophomore season. Ulf Nielsen, another Jet in real life with Hedberg, who's not having an incredibly productive year. And Dennis Kearns, who's finally, getting into form. We had him sitting on the farm team for quite a few years. I think he was one of our original signings when we expanded in '67, but still not too bad. And then here we get to the big problem. Guy Chiron, who had been our number one, our number one center, arguably our best player the last couple of years, has somehow fallen from 88 points last year. He's down to 30 this year. I don't think his ice time is down a little. I think he's maybe gotten pushed out a bit by Nielsen. But there's no real explanation for why his numbers are so terrible, so I've got to dig into that a little more. And then as I go a little farther down the list, Dan Maloney, we're starting to get into other guys who are a bit disappointing. Katola, who's one of our all-time Finnish great. He was one of the all-time great players for Finland internationally. Didn't come over until the early 80s in real life and had a couple of disappointing seasons with Colorado. But in this game, he came over in the early 70s and was playing really well for us until now. Billy Harris, our first-round draft pick 3 years ago, I think, who has been more or less a washout. I mean, he was a pretty good Islander player in real life. I'm not sure what's gone wrong with him here, other than we're barely giving him playing time. And Dennis Ochar, who's probably rated as our best defenseman, just ratings-wise, complete mess of a year. He's way down the list on points, -8. Not really producing much of anything in the rest of the list. And the other big problem, Jerry Cheevers, who's our all-star goalie most years, is that his goals against average blew up from 2.92 to 3.60. and the save percentage has fallen apart as well. So, a few disappointing guys. I'm just going to dig into the advanced stats list. There's a couple of things I want to check here. The goals for per 60 games, that's the number of goals we're averaging per 60, or 60 minutes rather, per 60 minutes that the guy is on the ice. So it's sort of a reverse goals against average and for a skater instead of a goalie. So Maneri's doing pretty well. Gainey, Snips, the defensemen are not doing too badly. Kelly, obviously, oddly enough, is up there. Sharon, interestingly, is near the top of the list in goals for per 60. Who's not producing? Oh, Marcotte is. That's odd. He's our leading scorer, and he's got one of the lowest goals for per 60. Goals against per 60 minutes. Harris, just a complete mess. Kern's not doing well. Yeah, Maneri, Marcotte. Wow. That's... Okay, I think we're getting hit defensively. That looks like part of the problem. We're just getting lit up. I'm going to have a look at Corsi just to see how the shot differentials are working for these guys when they're on the ice. Yeah, Catola, not bad. I see Marcotte looks better there. Ochar's getting killed. That's bad. Reggie Leach shouldn't be that far down. A score should be... he's been playing on the first line. Yeah, Mono 83, I forgot about that. Catola actually played in the WHA before he went to the NHL. I think he was in Winnipeg for a couple of years and then went back to Finland for 1 or 2 seasons and then wound up in Colorado. But I'm just going to look at my lines. Where have we been? Oh, we've had injuries, so I can't go back and see what they've been using. How would the AI set that up? I mean, Sharon is going to be no worse than the second line. He's got good line mates, so there's just no excuses for how badly he's been playing. But looking forward now, we are actually at the trade deadline, right, on this day.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out what to do. We are not making it into the playoffs. It makes no sense to try for a rental-type player.
I think I might got a couple of trades. Tell me what you think about this. We trade Bob Berry and a couple other things to the New York Islanders for a first-round pick.
Okay, that definitely sounds worthwhile. I mean, Barry's getting up in age. He's our assistant captain, but we haven't been playing him that much, and he's not that crucial. But one thing I'm really thinking about doing is, Cheevers is one of our... Is he our best player?
Well, I got another one for Cheevers. What if we trade Cheevers to Atlanta, along with a couple other things, and bring back Dave Dryden and a first-round pick?
Not really crazy about that. I'm not sure about bringing another half-decent starting goalie back, because if we move Cheevers, I really want Joe Meloche to get a bunch of starting time, because he's got to get off, finish developing that last 2.5 stars of his potential. And if we bring Dryden back, he's slightly better than what Meloche is, and he's going to get a big chunk of the starting time, even if we play with the starting settings a bit.
Well, then I think we still might be... Oh, I can't do this now.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
The thing I was maybe thinking of doing was, because just getting back to Cheevers, he's 34 years old. He's probably got some good seasons left in him. He was playing in the WHA in real life at this point, but then he came back to Boston and had a couple of decent years. I think he eventually got take a puck in the eye or something, or am I thinking of Bernie Parent? Got hurt and then eventually retired. And then, but he should have a little bit of life left in him, so we could theoretically contend with him next year, but I'm wondering about shopping him around and seeing if we can at least get a decent player back, because I'd like to get a good defenseman, because that seems to be our big weakness right now.
Well, I was wondering if we could flip Dave Dryden for a defenseman.
Still, though, he's only 2.5 stars. It's not going to get that much back. I was thinking of something a little bit more ambitious. Was looking at...
Well, do you want to make this Bob Berry trade before we...
Yeah, good idea there. That was with Atlanta, you said?
No, the Bob Berry one was with the Islanders.
Islanders. Very. Okay. Yeah. So what did you try to?
So I got a first round pick out of them for
The 75 first rounder or later?
it's the 75 first rounder.
Okay.
And sorry, I'm just looking to get this back up. So Bob Berry, our third round pick this year.
Okay.
And the rights to Bruce McIntosh and Willie Brissett.
Who I think are both playing in the WH. Yeah, Brissart is with the Nordiques. And McIntosh is with the Oilers. So actually they're, fairly decent players. But will probably stay in the WHA for a while at least. Yeah, it seems like a reasonable offer for me. I'll try that. It'll be nice to have another first rounder this year. And they go for it, so check the news. Yep, Barry is gone. We're going to have to fill in that spot in the lineup. But now for the Cheevers thing. I was wondering, the Rangers are not particularly great in goal right now. They've got Gary Bromley, it looks like, is a starter. But it's like the future and ex-Canucks group here. Dunk Wilson, who played with Vancouver a little bit, Gary Bromley, and Richard Brodeur, who's not playing at all. He's just 22 at this point. But they definitely really don't have any kind of a decent starter there. And they're in second place in the Patrick. I looked earlier, and so they'd be looking to do something for the playoffs. So I throw Cheevers in there, and I want to get a decent defenseman back. Obviously, Brad Park is right at the top of the list. I don't think we're going to get him. He's 5-star, and he'd be the best defenseman in the league if Bobby Orr wasn't around.
What's it hurt to try?
Worth a shot, but I don't think. I mean, Park is so good. It's like there's a real premium on the 5+ star players in the game. Trading for them. Well, that's probably part of the problem. Boris Salming is out with a concussion. I didn't just notice that now. I think we're going to have to throw in another defenseman. Well, we've got the Norm Barnes, who's got 3-star potential and isn't playing much for us now. Yeah, they're not biting on that at all, though. One of our wingers, maybe. I want to keep Leach. I want to keep O'Reilly. Hedberg. I could. Kind of hurts to give up Dan Maloney, but he's not doing much for us this year, and he's kind of buried on the depth chart. And see, still, they're still not going for that.
Who are you trying to get here?
Brad Park.
What are you trying to get? Oh, Park. Okay. Well, I think I got a trade for Phil Russell.
See, I'm even throwing in that pick we just got from the Islanders. Yeah, I think you're right. It's just going to cost way too much to get Park out of there if they even do it. So, what were you offering for Russell?
If you offer Cheevers and a 4th round in 75 and a 5th round in 76, you can get Russell.
Fifth round in 76 and a 4th round in 75?
Yep.
Wow, we've traded away most of our picks after the... all we've got is for 2 first rounders in the 2nd in 75.
What else do you need?
Yeah, Oh, actually, we probably could use something because the expansion drafts in the WHA ate all of our depth. It's not bad. I mean, Russell's only 22. What's he... Oh, he's that been on the list once. 3.5 star potential. He's already at that. And he was a good defenseman well into the 80s. I'm going to see if I can just take that 4th rounder out and if will they still go for it then. Just curious, what do they have for goalie rights? Bill McKenzie playing in the WHA. Robbie Irons, not even... Oh, WHA as well. Yeah, nothing terribly interesting there. See if I can just get a depth goalie out of him. No, they don't really have anybody worth taking. Okay, I'll just try it like this and see what kind of a response I get back. And they'll do it for the Achievers in the 5th rounder for Phil Russell. So I think I'm going to do that. Agreed?
Yep.
And there goes our all-time greatest goalie. So I now need to call somebody up. Gilles Gratton still sitting at half a star. Gonna have to call Mike Curran up, 30-year-old rookie now. Former U.S. national team goalie. With Russell up, I can send a defenseman down. That's gonna be Barnes, I think. And where's Salming on the... Yeah, Salming's still out for another month or two with an injury. I really need to call a center up, it looks like. But we've got one and he's no good. So I think what I'm going to do is call Dan LeBratton up, who's been sitting on our... in the minors for about 4 years for us, not getting into any games. We'll finally let him play.
Alright. If you want to add some more picks, we can trade away some guys to grab some 4th or 5th rounders.
I don't want to completely over... I mean, we've got such... It's a relatively young team at this point. I think I'm going to just go with those 2 deals.
Okay. Well, I just meant we have like a very angry Brett Selby.
It was like half a star, yeah.
Yeah. You can trade for...
No, I'll just leave it for now. I'll... Did I want to change anything else there? I don't think so. What does it want to do for lines? Yeah, lines seem reasonable. Hedberg, Nielsen, and Gainey as a first line. I mean, that should in theory be a great one, but how well it works out in the game. Power play. Why would you play O'Reilly in the center? In center on the first power play line? That's just weird. And I think that's pretty much the lines. Catola will be back shortly from that injury. One other thing we need to do is have a look at the expiring contracts. The one-year guy left, Terry O'Reilly, obviously we want to re-sign him. Because we used to be able to get away with he's making 85, he only wants 120, so I will go ahead with giving him exactly what he's asking for. So he gets his extension. What was I going to say? Yeah, if we don't, it's in the first couple of years of the game, we didn't really have to worry about getting these guys re-signed during the season because they couldn't go anywhere because there's no unrestricted free agency. But now we got the WHA to worry about. So if I let one of these guys go free on July 1st, they might get grabbed. Solf Nielsen, basically the same situation as O'Reilly, so I will get him signed. Lars Lindgren, why is he only on... I thought we just signed him. Making 32,000, he's going to want more money. 64,000 for 3, he's not doing that great yet. I'm just going the wrong direction. Stagger that a little bit, see if he'll take that. Well, he came down a little bit. I think I saved $500 a year there. Curran and the temporary backup. Yeah, it's kind of an insignificant. He only wants 21 grand, so that's probably a lot for a guy who's may or may not ever play for us after this season, but I'll sign him.
You promoted Curran over Grattan?
Yeah, Grattan's only half a star right now, so he needs to develop a little bit more.
Didn't you want the other Milosh to play more anyways?
Yeah, but I mean, Curran's only 1 star, so he's barely going to play at all. That's the other thing I got to set now. I got to go into the goalie settings and set that up. So Milosh basically plays all the games from here on out. Okay, and the problem guy here, Billy Harris, our disappointing first-round pick, making 100,000, 110,000. He wants a raise. What was that?
I said you have one more thing that also needs to be done.
What's that?
You need to assign a new assistant captain.
Yep, because we traded away Barry. I will see if... I'm probably being too generous to Harris here. I'm giving him a tiny, tiny raise. If he wants more than that, he can talk to the WHA. Oh, come on, buddy. You're going to do this over... about $20,000 total.
Good first.
Come on, he won't even budge. I'm annoyed by that now because he's playing so badly. Yeah, let's talk to him in July. Forget it, I'm not buckling under to that. Reserve list guys to sign. Graton, his contract's coming up. Super cheap, that's fine. Mike Amadeo, who's depth defenseman. I'm going to try a little harder to sign our depth guys right now because we've got the budget space for us, and we've just been strip mined the last couple of years of a lot of the younger guys. Well, Selby can leave, but as you can see, a lot of these guys are just half-star ability, half-star potential, so they're never really going to amount to much for us. Whoa, are you nuts? Marat, who's barely played in the last 2 years, wants $125,000 a year. Yeah, and enjoy your time with the Birmingham Bulls or whoever. And our assistant captain have to deal with that. Sorting by leadership ratings, Bob Gainey, not surprisingly, one candidate, but he's only 21. Dennis Kearns is a little older. Determination ratings are about the same. That's kind of a secondary thing to look at for when you're selecting a captain. Kearns will be playing a fair amount. O'Reilly is up there too. Professionalism, Gainey. No, I think I'm going to give... Gainey's only 21, but he's going to be with us a long, long time. So I think I'm going to give him the A now, and I'll eventually move up to being the captain. And I think that news is just going to be at... Yeah, the Russell trade.
Sorry?
I'm just checking our news. I saw news. We had a thing in the mail, but it was just the announcement of the Russell trade. So I will finish the day. We'll see what other trades have happened. Oh, we got a game against Buffalo. I'll just sim that out. Oh, and I forgot to do the goalie settings. Mike Curran actually wound up starting that, and we lost 5-1. Yeah, that's pretty much how the season's gone. Oh, hey, Brian. Welcome to the chat. Brian's one of our research volunteers helping with FHM4. Asking, do players get added benefit by assigning them a role, major role, or secondary? The major role, or at least the one in that's you're seeing in the contract, is you're sort of explaining to the player what you as the GM are planning to use him as. And that just gives them sort of guideline as to what expectations you have of him, and that has an effect on a couple of other things morale-wise. If you put him in a role he doesn't want to be in, he's going to be unhappy. The supplementary roles are, and the major roles are the things like sort of checking winger or playmaking center. That describes the type of the position the guy's playing and the way he's playing it. Then the supplementary roles are things like special leadership roles, or whether or not the guy's considered a star or not, and just gives the guy a little bit more information about where he fits within the overall context of the team. So getting back to the goalie starts here, not going to worry about hotness much at all, or the best rested guy. Not even going to alternate that much. We will start the best goalie all the way up, and backup start frequency as low as I can go. And I think we will stick with that, so Milosh should get most of the last 15 or so games.
Excellent.
And I'll run this through, go week by week here, I guess. Oh, probably should have checked to see if those contracts got signed before jumping that far ahead, but looks like they all did.
They should sign it.
Just seeing a few other minor deals around, some interesting stuff around the league. Stefan Pearson got moved. Brian Glennie for Ed Kea to between the Canucks and Washington. Johnny Bucyk gets his 400th career goal. Is he still with the Bruins? Yep, still with the Bruins. And how did we do in that little stretch? Couple of ties. We still haven't had a win in our last 7 games now. And we're still giving up a lot of goals. 5 goals, 5 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals, 8 goals. Man. Did we switch the defensive tactic?
We did a little bit, I think.
I mean, see, this is a write-off at this point, so I think I'll put us into a new tactic, see if we can find something that makes a little more sense for us. Defense isn't that mobile. We got a lot of physical guys. We're fairly tough.
Gudu Creative coming with a question for you, Jeff, in the chat.
Yeah, just let me pick out a tactic here. I'm going to try switching to the 2-3 and see what that does, because it sure can't do anything worse than what we've got right now. Wow, Harris is getting pushed right out of the lineup. Okay, I'll just play out a week while reading that question. Okay, is there a way of raising or affecting a player's mental ratings? You can when you're... I think I've got the coaching options turned off, or the training options turned off right now. But if you go into the training screen, you do have mental training here, which will allow them, if you if you give a player special attention here, it can raise some of his mental ratings over time. Mental ratings do adapt over a career, and they tend to be a little slower to increase than the other ratings, but also decline a lot less in the late career. That's usually what a player hangs on to, even as he's getting into his mid-late 30s, his leadership can still be going up at that point in similar ratings. So they do change. It's just sort of a slightly different path than the other 3 categories of rating. And what interrupted me here? I got some news. Okay, just going to the end of the month. We're probably going to do really poorly the rest of this way because I changed the tactic and we're going to be spending time learning that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully they pick it up fairly quick. No, actually, look at that. We won 4 of the last 5. So apparently the tactic may have been the problem.
Didn't fit with our current style.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Giving a lot of... We got 3 games left, so... Now we're suddenly winning. I will just play this to the end of the regular season. I got the monthly save on. And nothing too interesting going on there. Where did we wind up? So yeah, dead last in the Norris Division. Did we get out of the bottom of the conference? No, we finished 6 points behind Detroit, but we did stay ahead of Vancouver and Kansas City, and Minnesota beat us by 1 point, the Islanders by 3. And Washington fell back a little bit, but still 82 points in their first season is a lot better than they actually did. And it was Kansas City that was a big mess this year, I guess. Last part of the schedule. Yeah, I mean, what's that, the last 3, 6, 8 games, we're 5-2-1. So we've given up at that point. The rest of the league is still trying for playoff spots, and then that's when we suddenly start winning.
I'll put the other goalie in.
Yeah, so Kern played a little bit, looks like. Didn't... It was 3-3, not too bad. And Milosh... No, not much of a year, but he's going to be the starter next year, so he'd better pick it up soon. That's going to be my major worry going into the... into 1975. So I will run this quickly through the end of the playoffs. I just might as well see the see what the playoff matchups are to begin with. Oops, what did I do there? Oh, this is a year where they had the sort of the odd first round play-in type of thing. So I got to go a little bit and get through those first round series before I get to the real playoffs. It's not really technically a pre-playoff, because that's usually used for the European systems that have those, but it fit better in that system they use from about 75 through 78 or 79. So Washington actually tied with Montreal in their first or second round series. But run that through May. And up to June, that should take us out of the playoffs. You think of anything else we need to do before the draft?
Well, the draft will be...
After the season turnover, but...
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe keep an eye on... What's the board confidence rating on this right now?
I'm almost afraid to look.
Because I'm thinking we're probably in a bit of trouble.
Maybe not yet, because we've done so well for so long. It's sitting in the yellow right now, about 60%, a little shy of that, way up. So we're not going to get fired in the off season, I think. I'm reasonably confident that we won't, but we really need to turn it around next year. Or we will be gone, I think, by the maybe the end of 75, 76. So what happened in the playoffs? Montreal, they wound up beating Washington and went to the Cup and won that 4-1. over the Flyers. So I think we still haven't had a. I have to check the history, but I don't think we've had an expansion team win the Stanley Cup yet. Yeah, we started in our first, we started in 66? I think we played that first year, and it's been ever since the expansion in 67. Hawks, Rangers, Leafs, Hawks again 2 more times, Canadians this year. So 4 of the original 6, just missing Detroit and Boston's winning, and absolutely no expansion teams winning it.
Oh, there's something very important to do too.
What's that?
Go ahead 5 days.
What's happening?
Only 5 days.
Actually, I'm just going to take a quick look at the WHA first to see. That's always interesting to see how this league plays out. We've actually, if I can mention some FHM4 stuff here. I've added a couple of new things in that help with the WHA signing players a little bit. So they're going to be the WHA teams will be a little stronger in FHM4, but looks like your Jets didn't do too well, and Edmonton Oilers are the Avco Cup champions.
Of course they are.
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick look at the league history to see how that's... you can see some of the crazy point totals that were going on in WHA at that time, 165. So yeah, the Oilers have actually won the Avco Cup every year the WHA has existed so far. As the Alberta Oilers in 73 and then Edmonton in the last 2 years. Now what's this thing that's going on in 5 days?
Just advance 5 days.
To June the 6th?
5th would be.
June 5th?
We're right. We get a contract extension, and it'd be kind of important not to miss that.
That's a fairly good point.
Because that would be kind of embarrassing.
That would be. Did you get it done on the 5th or on the 6th?
I got alert saying you have unresponse mail on the 5th.
Haven't got it yet. Oh, there we go. I got it on the 6th.
Rackcast asks in the chat, how would you sign a player away from a WHA team?
And I'm going to take the long-term extension because we probably need it at this point. How would you sign a player away from the WHA team? Right now, you should be able to. You have to respect their contract. So as long as he's under contract to the WHA team, you can sign him. But if he gets into free agency, they only own the WHA rights to him, so you can sign him as the NHL team. But you have to wait until he's out of contract because he cannot breach his contract. And it works the other way too. They can't steal players away from the NHL that are currently have active contracts. If Bobby Hull or whoever comes up and is a free agent on July 1st, he's fair game for the WHA. But as long as he's got a contract, they can't do anything. So I will run this ahead to the end of June. Salming's finally off the injured list. Great. At least our D is looking a lot better for next year.
Assuming we don't get fired.
I'll be optimistic.
It's more fun not being.
Scouting reports, I haven't... Got to watch for a development report soon. And we are letting Billy Harris get to July and go to free agency, and I will make him an offer on July the 1st, but it will not be the $120,000 he was looking for. Do we even get mentioned as... Oh, that's not. It's just the historical preview, not the season preview. And Harris will be on the protected list for us. No longer has a contract. Let's see what he wants. Oh, now instead of 120,000 over 3 years, he wants 125 for 4. So he's delusional. You've been sitting on the 4th line for 3 years, not developing at all, and you expect a raise in an extra year out of the contract. Not going to happen. So I'll check back in August or so and see if he's signed with the WHA team yet. I'm betting he has.
There is a agent who's 20 years old named Ted Bully.
Actually, I'm going to get through the draft first before I go to the free agents.
But then we might not get him.
Going to be fairly quick to get through the draft because we have very few draft picks. And Billy Harris signed with the Cleveland Crusaders, so good luck to him there. They can... What did he sign for? Oh, see, he's only asking for 50,000 for the WHA. So I guess he figures he's going to get playing time there. He didn't want... he wanted 120 to sit on our 4th line.
Of course.
Okay, amateur draft. Where are we picking? We are picking 3rd overall. Nice. 3rd and 5th. And then 21st, and then that is... Oh, no, we didn't get that 1 pick, so we got 4 picks here.
So who's the number 1 guy here?
Oh, no, this was a bad year to do that. I just realized this is the year, one of the years where the NHL raised the... They were drafting 18-year-olds 1 year, and then they moved it back to 19 for the next year. So the draft class has been absolutely strip-mined.
And what we do is we trade one of the picks away.
No, what we do is trade both of the picks away.
All right, fair enough.
I'm going to just look for what... you think just move picks... this year's picks for next year's picks?
I think so, unless you can pick up the rights to somebody who's interesting.
Gudo Creative asking if we can add bonus contracts. Not right now. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. It's kind of confusing for the AI at the moment. It's easy enough to get them into the get the data in, but then getting the AI to understand what the having a bonus does to the player's value is a little difficult. Just mainly out of as far as because of cap considerations in modern hockey. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought there. I was asking you about what we should trade our picks for.
I said you give the Islanders, trade them back their 1st-round pick for their 1st-round pick next year. But they won't quite accept that, so I threw in the rights to 33-year-old right-winger Simon Nolet. Nolet? However you say his last name.
Nolet? We still got the rights to him? Where is he?
I don't know. But I just sent them the rights, and that way we get their 1st-round pick next year.
Oh, he's playing for New England WHA? Okay, so they can have their pick back, and we'll take next year's instead. Sort of cheating because the AI doesn't really understand it's that bad of a draft year this year. Oh no, I think they're not going to take it in this because they finished so low this year that they think it's going to be a high draft pick next year, so the Islanders will not take that pick. I'm going to try with... Going to try it with Montreal. Yeah, I added the rights. Oops, I'm looking at our picks. I'm going to try for Montreal's next year for the Islanders in LA. Okay, they went for that, and who else should we trade that? Any other candidates for... Actually, I'm going to try California.
Toronto seems to work.
Let me just try California first, and if they can take our early pick this year. And I think I can get a little bit more out of them. I'm just see if I can grab a decent player's rights.
Well, I could get a first and a fifth from Toronto for our first, and the rights to Jack McEldergy.
Actually, I've got California's got Minnesota's fourth. Oh, that's this year. I don't want this year. I want next year. Try their fourth next year for the rights to for their first. And where's McElhargy? McElhargy and our first for their first next year and a fourth rounder. Let's see if they'll do it. They will. Okay, so we cleared out those useless picks. Let's just finish this draft such as it is.
And so we have one pick late, I believe then. Unless you want to try and swap out a second round pick, which we
Number
could.
21 overall pick. No, these are like 1.5 star guys, so there's some. Yeah, I see some names I recognize here. Steve Jensen, pretty decent player for Cleveland and Minnesota for a couple of years. One option, I don't think we have any particular position needs. Nothing too interesting goalie-wise. Oh, is there a 1.5 star guy there?
Well,
Peter Driscoll, pretty decent WHA player. Don Weldon, defenseman.
Is Anders Steen still available in yours?
I think he may be gone. Oh no, he's still there. So you want a jet named Steen, just not Thomas.
Well, if we're taking a flyer, basically.
Yeah, he's a 1.5 star player, so he's as good as anybody else on the list. I'll take him. And we got that one late pick, who is probably not going to be much of anything. Joe Baker, Danny Arndt, Roger Swanson. Don't remember him, goalie. Oh, there we go. We got Randy Benary and his brother Chris, a future Winnipeg Jet in real life, is there, so I'm going to grab Benary's brother.
Rick St. Croix is still available in mine.
Oh, was he? I think he was gone in mine.
It's way down on the list. He's only half star.
Who was the first number 1 overall? Jean Bernier. Yeah, that's just a terrible
Rick
year.
Lalonde.
Gonna advance one day, check the free agent list. And I want 20 years old and up. Oh, so we got some fairly interesting guys here. Somehow Ed Stanowski has slipped through the draft. You had another future St. Louis Blue, so I'm going to, St. Louis Blue, but also future Winnipeg Jet. So I'm going to offer him a contract. Nope, looks like I can't sign him for some reason.
Roland Eriksson available in your game?
Oh wait, I need to. They're probably still draft eligible. I gotta change that to 21. We've got the rights to Eriksson. I think he's in the WHA though.
He just showed up in my free agency list on July 12th.
Let me check my protected list. Oh yeah, wow, he's. Oh, I know what happened. He was with the Michigan Stags in the WHA, and they folded. So thank you very much. We will get him a contract. Good catch. We own the NHL rights to him. And no WHA team has given him an offer yet. Anybody else coming out from that team that we need to grab? Sign Steen. Sign Maneri too, I guess. finish submitting that offer. And I think that is good. Now I'll try to run this up to through a couple of months of the regular season, assuming everybody signs. Yet we got Roland Eriksson. So how many stars is he? We got, yeah, okay, well, 2.5 stars. Not gonna light things on fire for us, but pretty good depth signing. And we're at 23, so I will get this up to training camp. We'll see how, or get this up to the start of the preseason, see how training camp goes and how the development happens for the younger guys. Question from Brian. I assume you're a hockey fan at a young age. As a hockey fan and a programmer, programming a hockey sim must be pretty cool. Yeah, although at the time, we're right in the middle of FHM4 development at the moment. I'm not sure cool is the exact word I would be using today.
Why?
I like to sleep at some point. It's an odd habit I have.
Why?
Or at least
what
for more than
possibly need to sleep about.
Yeah. We are. I'm sure everybody's wondering what's going on with FHM4. We sent, I think, the last of everything that needs to be sent to the NHL for approvals. Just today. And we will hopefully be hearing back very quickly from them. And as soon as we got all of that stuff squared away, we can talk properly about the game and all the new features in it, some of which I've given away already here, but there's a lot more to announce. I skimmed right through the development report. Meloche finally moved up a little bit. Barnes doing better. Oh, Willie Plett, nice big jump for him there. Anybody unsigned we need to take? Oh no, they're all in WHA. Literally every player, unsigned player we own the rights to, is playing in the WHA this year. Great.
Seems about right.
Yep, curious to see how Harris does if he finally turns his career around. And I will move a couple of these guys down to the farm team and promote a couple of, or whoever is doing better now. Oh wow, LeBratton is, yeah, I don't think he's ever going to hit his potential. Yeah, that's about that. Not sure I want, see the Graton still hasn't, I'm going to call Gilles Graton up and use him as the backup, even though he's only half a star. In the theory that maybe being on the main team will speed his development up a little bit, and we'll have a decent backup by at least the end of the season. Oh, Darcy wrote it to 1.5 stars. He can come up now. That's good.
Excellent.
And that's 22 players. How many defensemen have we got? Yeah, 7 defensemen up. Does anybody else need to move up? Does not look like it. Let's see what the AI wants to do with this. I think I'll probably just use the computer settings for the exhibition season. So yeah, Nielsen, Hedberg, Gagne still on the first line. Marcotte, Sharon, O'Reilly. Why are you putting... Oh, I guess Kelly's got some skill at center now. Huh. Well, it's a pretty tough third line. Maybe I'll go with it. Oh, it's not... doesn't want to start Eriksson. That's not good. Yeah, I'm going to have to take Kelly out. Fourth line, but we'll do that, and we will run through the start of the regular season, and we will probably cut it off there. We'll take a look and see how we did in the exhibition games. Do we get anybody mentioned in the season preview? Absolutely nobody, it looks like. Nope, nothing at all. And it looks like we were 3-4 in the exhibition season. Ended by beating the Islanders 9-5. Not too bad. Let's just play this first game of the year against Montreal. Looks like we don't have any injuries, so nothing to worry about there.
Huzzah.
And if we can start this on a winning note, what's Montreal look like? It's actually not too impressive. Definitely not the classic 70s Canadians.
That had to happen at some point.
Serge Savard's there. That's Van Cournoyer. Mickey Redmond. Other than that, not much recognizable. And I'll just sim that out. And we win 3-1. So there we go. Obviously, all of our changes have been worth it, and we're now going to go 80-0 and sweep our way to the cup, right?
Yep, that's exactly what will happen.
Absolutely no chance of anything else possibly going wrong with this game.
Nope, not at all.
Now that we've completely jinxed ourselves, we'll probably be able to play. No, shouldn't say that. Be able to show FHM 4 before we can go back to this game, and we'll never play this game again. Now, even if we don't, I think I'll run this forward a while, and we'll see how this team eventually winds up. But for now, I think we will end here. And yeah, keep basically stay. We'll keep you posted as soon as we have FHM 4 news we can talk about. We will pass that on. Adam, do you want to let everybody know all the other assorted places they can learn about the games?
Other assorted places? Well, you can watch us live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments.
Like you're doing right now.
Sometimes, yeah, just like right now, unless you're watching our YouTube, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yep.
Although sometimes we've been doing a few special streams, and there might be another one later this week, maybe even tomorrow, continuing on the Detroit Red Wings or LA Kings series. You never know what might happen.
Yep.
Which, again, make sure you're following our Twitch channel. All of our videos are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments, where you can see every one of our streams archived, as well as any other important videos that might pop up there. If you want to talk more about Franchise Hockey Manager, come on down to our official Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey. Or if you want to talk to us about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, or MLB Manager, come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to our official forums, and you can talk about all of the above and even more.
Yep.
Jeff, I don't think I missed anything.
No, I think that pretty much covers everything. We will hopefully have some real news for you very, very soon. Basically, as soon as the NHL gets back to us and hopefully is okay with everything we're showing them. If they want changes, then it gets slowed down again. But we will be able to tell you all about FHM4 hopefully very, very, very soon. So thank you for coming out. And yeah, thanks, Scooter. I will try to get some sleep at some point in the next, 3-4 days. Thanks for coming out, and we will see you next week. Probably back with the Modern Detroit game, but which is actually going very well now. But you never know what you might get. So talk to you later, guys.